Well, here we are in downtown Dallas, or rather north of Dallas. We've arrived safely, as you can see. This is a bit unusual because we're sort of trying to talk to everybody at the same time on our little video camera. So what we thought we'd do is tell you what's going on. Sue's sat here, she's going to speak as well in a minute.
Yeah, I can speak, yes.
And thought we'd tell you just a little bit about Dallas and what's happening here. I hope everybody's okay at home. I'm going to give you our phone number just in case you want to give us a call now, which is 0101, you're writing this down, I hope, 0101 214 732 0715. And if you'd like to send us a fax or a picture or anything you like, it's the same number. It just comes through on our little fax machine as well. But we'll tell you about what's happened since we've been here. We actually arrived, today is the Monday the 9th, and we're actually doing this at 10 to 11 in the morning, just having our 11s
yeah.
as well. Nice cup of coffee.
Well, it's not so nice, is it?
The coffee, the tea is disgusting. There's no other word for it. But we've managed to find, first things first, we've managed to find
British Trading Post.
British Trading Post, which is a little store on the other side of Dallas, and it's run by two Scottish ladies, and we can actually buy PG tips there. Unbelievable.
Branston pickle and Heinz baked beans.
So provisions, they have huge supermarkets. Well, you know how it is. But we found this little shop, and we can buy all these sort of things like Heinz baked beans and soup and all those sort of things that you take for granted, and we actually miss them. So when we're in trouble, you can send us a food package. Right, let's tell you about. Oh, you remember these two, of course. This is Ziggy. You remember Ziggy?
Here we are.
Ziggy
Just show them
just to
so
show
that
that
you
they've
can
arrived.
see that they're all right.
Okay.
They're
Sit down.
perfectly all right. They're quite happy here, and they've settled in beautifully. And we do let them out a little bit. We're not supposed to, but we do. We let them out.
We managed to get two very, very nice large wooden cages, which the company that we arranged to transport them out here. They came on the same flight as us, and it was a long flight, about 10 hours, but they managed to come through very, very well at the other end. And they've been absolutely marvellous since we've been here. They've managed to terrorise the neighbourhood probably, but we do let them out from time to time. But hardest thing we're talking about, provisions and food and stuff, is trying to find
Some
like
rabbit
cat food. You cannot buy it here, and that's all they eat.
They only like rabbit.
We found some things for that, but they're molting as well.
They look healthy enough.
Yeah, haven't lost any weight, have you? Say hello. Say hello, Ziggy. Ziggy, say hello. Hello. Right, enough of that. We've got a lovely apartment in a place called Versailles Apartments, which is quite a new complex. We're going to show you all around the complex in a little bit, and it's about 5-6 years old, and it's just been decorated, this place, but we'll show you all around it. And we just came straight here. Our furniture arrived about 2 weeks after we arrived here, so for a long time we didn't have a settee. It was just carpet, walls, and a bed. We managed to get a bed organised before we came here.
Borrowed a table and chairs, so we could actually sit down.
Yeah. Sue's managed to start her job. She started about a week after she arrived here. She works for what are you told?
Yeah, I'm working for a man called Mike, and he's very, very nice, and all the girls are nice, and I'm really enjoying it. I can take off as much time as I want. I don't get paid for it, but I can take off as much time as I want. And generally Saturdays I'm finished by about 3. But it's going really, really well.
My job situation is I've managed to get a very, very nice job. I actually haven't started yet, but I should start on the 16th or 17th. So by the time you get this video, I'll probably be starting to work with GTE, which is one of the big telephone companies in Dallas. And I've got my final interview. I've already been told that I've got the job, but I need to have it sort of rubber stamped, as it were. It may fall apart, but I hope not. Otherwise we'll be in trouble. Well, I'll just have to get a job. So I've been bumming around for about 4 or 5 weeks, and actually having a very, very nice time.
I go to
doing
work,
nothing.
Yes, and he stays at home and keeps the house tidy.
Yeah, I've become a house husband, but I should start in about a week's time. We got some very, very nice friends over here that we obviously knew before we came here. David and Kathy Barrow, who we've known for about 2.5 years. They're friends of Jim and Gert Brennan. I don't know if any of you are watching this know Jim and Gert, but that's how we met, and they organised practically our apartment and everything that happened since we've got here. We managed to, there was no problem over sort of getting green cards and social security numbers, and the bureaucracy is unbelievable. You cannot believe the bureaucracy. It's just terrible. But anyway, they've arrived, and or actually our green cards haven't arrived, but we've got all the documents for it as well. I've been singing with the vocal majority since the second day I got here, and that's worked out very, very nicely. We've had become great friends with Jim Clancy, who's the director. In fact, we had lunch with them yesterday. We watched the football game. We had chili. Me watching American football, and it was actually quite good. That was the Dallas Cowboys against the Detroit Lions. For those of you that are interested in football, I'm not interested in football at all, but it was quite a. We were watching this huge big screen TV at Jim's place. Yeah, and Judy, his wife, and they've become very, very good friends. So we're enjoying ourselves really well. I'll tell you a little bit about more about Dallas rather than about us. It's quite a big city. It's approximately 15 to 20 miles across. That's how spread out it is. And it's if you see a map of Dallas, you'll see the next door to it is Fort Worth, which is Dallas-Fort Worth DFW Airport is in the middle, and it's a bit like sort of two big eyes, and the Fort Worth is a bit smaller, but Dallas is quite spread out. We're living right at the north of Dallas. We are actually in Dallas, although we're looking to move in sort of February or March to move to a place called Plano, which is about 3 miles up the road, so it's not very far. But we've had some wonderful weather. When we arrived, it was about 80, 85, and we've had tremendous weather for the past few days. But unfortunately, now we sat down and done this, it's a bit like England, it's gone grey, and it's quite cold as well. Cold? It's about like high 50s, maybe 60, very, very high at the moment. But we've had a couple of spectacular thunderstorms. I mean, thunderstorms like I've never seen. Frightened me to death, frightened the cats to death as well.
Lightning all over
the lightning, instead of coming down, the lightning was like coming down and going across the sky like this. And it was just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. No. And we've had tornadoes, not in Dallas, but just southwest of Dallas, in maybe 30, 40 miles away. And we've had tornadoes. So I just hope that doesn't happen here as well. We're missing all our family and friends, so we're sending this video to everybody, so I'm afraid it's fairly sort of general, but we do miss everybody, and we really hope that you'll keep in touch with us, at least drop us a line. We hope to sort of,
It's great to get a letter in the post.
It is, yeah.
We'll have to do the same, but...
So we hope that at least you'll keep in contact with us. And of course, we're looking forward to coming back in May to the Harrogate Convention, Berkshire Convention, and that will be a great time. So we'll be in England for about 10 days, hopefully in May, and see you all then. So I'm sure we'll catch up from then. Tell you about some other things. Of course, we've got new television. We brought our television and everything over here. It does work here, but we decided to buy a big screen TV as well. And it's got about 27 channels, nothing online. Except on Sunday nights, last night.
We get old British programmes, Are You Being Served?
It's Blackadder, we've got Blackadder 2 on at the moment.
May to December.
French Fields and Colin Sandwich, it's all sort of sitcoms that they run from. We had Masterpiece Theatre last night, which is quite interesting. That runs from about 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock, so we get about 4 hours of British TV, which is quite interesting. There's some good American TV. We've been watching Star Trek twice a night.
Yes.
Twice a night. 6 o'clock and...
7 days a week.
7 days a week. We get the Dallas Morning News, which is the newspaper here, and give you an idea. If you think like how big the Sunday Times is, that's the daily paper. And on Sunday, you get the Dallas Morning News for Sunday, and it literally is it's like a tree trunk. It comes in a roll, and it takes you a week to read. It's just...
We don't get through it,
No, we just don't get through it. It's just like, the amount of papers that we throw out. I've just thrown a pile of papers that thick out, last week's papers, just this thick. So it's unbelievable. So we're not short of news, and it's pretty good. We're very, very happy here so far,
Yeah,
but we'll let you know when we're not. Anyway, what we're going to do now, if you're sitting comfortably, we're going to take you on a little guided tour of our apartment complex, the Versailles Apartments, and we're going to drive around the front, and we're going to take you in there, and then we'll show you just some of the outside, and then we'll show you around our apartment. And hopefully later on we're going to show you a little bit of Dallas and where we're looking to live and so on. So, are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Right, and we're just going to take you for a drive around the complex in our car. Okay?
This is Sue's new car. Pontiac Grand Prix. Isn't that nice?
I'm very pleased. Good. Well.
Okay, coming out, and then we're coming back in the entrance. And this is, if we can see it, Pear Ridge Drive. That's it. Okay. Of Versailles Apartments. Here it is. No solicitors allowed, is there? Don't know why they got something against solicitors. This is just really the all of the entrance. Just driving around the side here now. Sue's got used to driving on the left-hand side of the road. No, I tell her the right-hand side. That she has got used to driving on the left-hand side of the road, but she better learn to drive on the right. Her driving test is this afternoon. I've taken my driving test already because we couldn't use our ordinary licences permanently, our UK licences, so we all actually had to take our driving tests again. Written tests, and it was all on computer, and we had to sort of press multi-answer questions, multiple choice questions, and then go out for a little drive with the driving examiner. We're just driving around the side of our apartments now. It's a nice Porsche. A lot of American cars here, as I'm sure you're aware. It is America. A lot of Japanese cars as well. The weather is usually beautiful blue sky, but unfortunately today's a little bit grey. So here we are. These carports are where covered parking are where we. Oh, there's my car. Slow down a minute. That's my car. That's my Dodge Stealth. Sports. I thought I'd have a sports car for a change. Anyway, Sue's going to park. It'll be unbelievable.
We're just going to go inside. It's the entrance.
It's sort of two-storey, but we're just on the bottom storey. It's a regular sort of apartment. Welcome to 2701. Here we are. I'm just going to take you inside. You going to show us around?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll show you around.
This is where the camera work gets really dodgy. I've just tripped over the furniture. Here we go.
Where would you like to start?
Starting.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the lounge.
Just try and get a decent perspective.
As you can see, we've got most of our furniture from our previous lounge in here.
Just use the lights. It's just sort of changing the colour balance. There's Shah's here. That's where we're sitting. Sort of a thing called a wet bar, which is... Oh, there I am, in the mirror.
That's a dry bar.
Oh, that's a dry bar. I'm sorry, there's no sink in
There's no sink.
Here's our little presents. If Brian and Quartet and Brian, Derek and Andy watching.
And Maggie and...
Yeah, and Maggie and Alan. Here's our little cat. Thank you very much. And our little rose bowl from Innovations. Thank you very much for that. And our little silver plaque from the Quartet as well. They're very nice. Okay.
Out here.
The light's going to go funny here. That's all right. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. This is our little patio.
With our newspaper.
Oh, here's the newspaper. It's sort of covered in patio. Just sort of show you outside the complex again. We're back inside now.
Oh, we have a storage room there.
Yeah. That's the front door. You going to take us around?
Yeah.
Go a bit further.
Okay. In your room?
Yeah. It's going to take us into my little den.
This is Graham's den.
Den. Can you turn that light down over there?
Which this one?
Yeah. That's slightly better, I think. This is just where my sort of office stuff is, our fax machine, computer and printer and everything else, CDs. if Clive's watching, this is a friend of mine, Clive. He gave me this. Probably can't see this very well, actually. This is a Confederate States of America loan, $500 loan. Goes back to 1861. And had it all framed, Clive, so it looks really nice.
Yes.
All the photographs. Not getting a very good light balance here. Just all the quartet photographs and everything up there. A special shot of Sue, which we had taken for her advertisement in the paper. It was a special. It took about an hour and a half to get this shot. It's called a glamour shot. So all the Dallas women are supposed to look like this. This is called Dallas hair, by the way. How about that hair? Unbelievable. But it's a nice photograph. It's in the same room. Our little den. It's just full of junk, but it's a walk-in closet. We'll show you some more later. Okay? The kitchen.
Kitchen.
Where all the real work is done. This is our kitchen.
Yep. We have a dishwasher, and through this area here we have washing machine and tumble dryer, and more cupboards.
On this side we have
the cooker, which Graham tried to set on fire the other day.
I burnt the pie. It's set
Yes.
on fire.
They have a two-setting, a bake or broil, and he didn't know what broil meant, which means grill. So he put the pie in on grill and shut the door.
Brilliant.
So it went up in flames.
How interesting. Then we have, as our refrigerator, big refrigerator, and a lava as well.
Yeah.
And this is our dining table.
Dining room table,
just
which
had.
we've bought.
How interesting.
Since we've been here.
Okay, we're going to go to the bedroom now. It's a one-bedroom apartment, so you've seen the den, and this is actually the bedroom.
Do you want any light on in here?
You're right. Okay. Bed, window. A very, very old picture of us. Taken back about 1980. Who was that young fella? And then
here is our walk-in closet, which is absolutely fantastic.
It's how unbelievable. Full of clothes and stuff.
Fantastic.
This is where Ziggy hangs out most of the time. He sleeps down
He
here.
spends most of his time in here. This is our dressing area. We have one sink here. We have a cupboard for storage on this side. And then you come into our bathroom with another sink.
How interesting.
Bath and
Toilet,
shower.
bath, shower. Another mirror. Hello. So anyway, that concludes the guided tour of our apartment. Now, wasn't that interesting?
It was.
Now, what we're going to do now is just take you, if you're still sitting comfortably, and I know this is about 20 minutes long so far, and you're bored to tears, we're going to show you a little bit of Plano, where we're going to hopefully look to buy a house. It's 103 a gallon. Now, we're just coming up to what's called the Dallas Tollway. We're not actually going on the tollway. We're going to turn right and go north and go up to Plano Parkway, which is just about where we want to live. On what's called Dallas Parkway, that's part of the tollway, although we don't have to pay a toll on this section of the road. And they're just building a big new flyover up here, which is going to be called the 190. And that will mean that when that's built, where we shall live, we'll be able to commute to downtown Dallas in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So here we are. Sue's doing an excellent job driving on the right-hand side of the road. Oh, there we go, over the railway bridge, over the railway. This is not built up yet. This is all part of North Dallas or South Plano. Plano is right on the north part of the Dallas area. And we're just going westwards at the moment. Literally just a couple of minutes from the apartment complex. It's called The Hills at Prestonwood, coming soon to The Hills at Prestonwood, and it's sort of a nice walled entrance. I think this is where we want to live, so we're just going to show you around. There's quite a lot of building going on here, a lot of new houses and stuff. There's a new house, Goodman's home. That's very typical of the sort of house which we'll probably end up with. Some of the more established parts of The Hills at Prestonwood, some of these are quite nice homes. This one's for sale right here. This one on the corner, I think they want about $300,000 for that. That's about £180,000. It's probably about 4,500 square feet. And then we're coming into the golf course It's not very green at the moment. It really is green because they keep it all sprinkled. This is called the Prestonwood Country Club complex, and a lot of these houses are in the sort of £500,000 bracket, $500,000 bracket. We're not there, unfortunately. This is all golf course up here, so if Sue's dad is watching, you know where to come. The fees each year are about $12,000. Good grief. Golf crossing, there we are. And we're just driving down a little bit further into the complex. The greenery coming up. This is actually where this big house coming up here is not the one we're going to live in, but it's part of the area that we're going to be living in. Yeah, so the nice scenery in this part of Plano. It's not like this at all elsewhere in Plano. It's very, very built up, and perhaps we can show you some of that, but this is really nice up here, so we really want to try and get a house up here if we can. Just show you some of the nice sort of roads around here. The roads are really quiet, this part of Plano. They're quite busy once you get down into Dallas, but everybody seems to drive a lot more sanely than the M25, for example. We're just driving up into some of the sort of the neighbourhood. It's a grey, very grey sky. It's usually so blue and really quite warm, but of course we're getting into the winter months now. This gives you a very, very good idea of, and here's a plot for sale. This is sort of the place we like to live. How about one of these? Isn't that nice? Not at all. They're all timber framed houses with a brick skin on the outside, and they build them from scratch to finish in 3 months. Now, so we're going to take you through one of the shopping malls. Well, this is not a mall, this is sort of an open sort of shopping centre. Now this is, we're actually in a place called Park Road, which is North Plano, and which again is only just a few minutes from where we live. And this sort of shows you some of the big, this is one of the very, very many shopping areas. I mean, there are just millions and millions of places to do shopping, food or clothes. There seem to be so many estate agents around, it's unbelievable, not surprising really. And here we are, and we're going to go shopping in this place over here called Tom Thumb. And you can just see it over there, Tom Thumb, which is a big supermarket, a bit like Sainsbury's really. So we'll be back soon after this commercial break.
Test, and I've passed.
This is the temporary license. Can't see a thing. Just turn a driving test. What is it? About 5 to 3 in the afternoon of the 9th.
This driving test, and what we're doing now, we're just driving down the main Central Expressway, which comes from sort of North Dallas, which is sort of Plano area. Just driving down, and what we're going to do is drive down towards Central Dallas. This is like one of the main freeways. There's a beautiful building on the left which has just been completed here, which is partly Northern Telecom. It's incredible, this building. It's owned by, I think it's owned by Northern Telecom, and they actually have inside it this big fitness centre which is 20,000 square feet, and it's all free for the employees. It's quite remarkable. So we'll get a bit further down and we'll show you some of the nice sort of areas. It's a bit sort of open up here, but it'll soon get really, really busy. It's just after 3 o'clock, so we're nowhere near the rush hour yet. Stripes. You see quite a lot of flags flying around here. A lot of them are the Lone Star flag. We'll try and see if we can see a few of those. And of course we've only just had the election here with Bush is a Texan, of course, so we see quite a lot of bumper stickers which vote for Bush and Quayle, but old Ross Perot is also from Dallas, so a lot of people were, you know, supporting Ross Perot, and we saw it on television. And of course his speech and everything was at the Hotel Kempinski, which is downtown Dallas. I don't know if we'll see that, but that's where that was all taken. You've probably seen that on television at home. This city, Texas, there are 20 of these banks in Texas. The banking system is really strange here because they don't have the big 4 or big 5 banks that they have in England. They have a whole load of state banks, and
they're very much smaller than there are millions and millions of them. And the first city, Texas, was just taken over. It actually went to the wall, unbelievably, just taken over by the government. And it's now called the new First City, Texas, and it's actually run by the government, which is unbelievable. They safeguard everybody's deposits up to $100,000, but after that you just get 80 pence or 80 cents in the dollars, I should say. So the banking is a bit strange here. We belong to a thing called Commercial Credit Union. No, that's wrong. Community Credit Union, which is a very, very good bank up in Plano. And you have to live in Plano to belong to that bank, which is rather interesting. A lot of banks work like that. Dallas, there's Cadillac Seville. There are so many Cadillacs. There's another one. They're almost 10 to the penny, although they're quite expensive cars. But everybody takes great pride in all their cars. You see some wonderful Cadillacs, you know, very, very old ones as well. They're all pretty well looked after. Because it doesn't rain very much and there's not much sort of ice here, most cars are in pretty good condition. You got a lot of the Lone Star flags with before we finish, where are we coming up to now? Oh, Interstate Highway 635. That's a bit like the M25, goes all the way around Dallas, and is 12 lanes wide. I think, no, it's 14 lanes wide. There are, I think, 3 or 4 in the middle, and then there's another 3 or 4 on the outside. No, you want to go straight down. So it's just asking directions here. We're not really coming downtown yet, but this is just some of the more commercial districts. Here we go, this is the 635. It's a bit like the M25. We're just going to go underneath it. The 75 going south towards Dallas. It's actually called the North Central Expressway. They seem to have road names and road numbers. It's a bit like called the M25, Graham Smith Freeway. Roadworks here as well. This is quite a busy road in the rush hour, and although it's just down a couple of lanes now, it becomes very, very busy, especially sort of road at rush hour. Always roadworks on this road as well. Going south, there are some beautiful buildings in Dallas, a lot of sort of glass and concrete. This is quite spectacular. This is the FINA building. You can probably just see the sign coming up. And there are 2 big gold blocks. They're actually solid glass on the outside, and this big silver one in front. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but they are all sort of this wonderful, shiny glass. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? A lot of these sort of buildings downtown as well. We're still about 7 or 8 miles outside of central Dallas, but give you an idea of what the freeway looks like when you go downtown. Still, the traffic's getting a little heavier here. This is the Merrill Lynch building. They're a big firm of stockbrokers and investment bankers. And a friend of mine in the chorus is the vice president. He actually almost runs that place. Good pal of mine called Frank Harkness, who sings right in front of him in the chorus. We're still about 4 or 5 miles outside of Dallas. We're still maybe 3 miles, 2 miles, 3 miles away. You can just see some of the downtown Dallas area. And if you've ever seen the film, the program Dallas, you can see quite a lot of this, but it's always coming from the other direction. Not a little focus here. That's it. It's always been from the other direction. So we're actually, when you see the film, the program Dallas, it's always shown from the south. We're coming in from the north. It's not very sunny at all. It's quite grey, although all the billboards say it's about 70 degrees. Because this is really a wonderful sight when you driving down in the sunshine, and the sun shines off all these lovely glass buildings. Especially at night, we're going to try and take some film, if not today, certainly another time, of downtown Dallas at night. Because all these buildings are spectacular. They're all lit up with sort of green and white, very, very bright lighting, all in patterns on the, here we are, all on the windows and on the edges of the buildings. Good view. That gives you quite a good idea. We're actually on the same road, but it now turns into what's called the Interstate 45, which goes south towards Houston, and we're actually going on the west side, sorry, on the east side of the city at the moment. If we continued and went for about 300 miles, we'd end up in Houston. It's a bit shaky here. just sort of gliding past some of the downtown area. It's really quite crummy downtown. A lot of the business centres are actually outside of town. Downtown Dallas is a bit seedy, and they have their red light district, the same as everybody else, I guess, but it's really crummy downtown. It's actually called the Reunion Tower, next to a place called Reunion Arena. It's a hotel at the bottom of it, but the top is a wonderful revolving restaurant, and at night, you can't really see it now, but it's got a sort of spherical framework around it, and it's all lit up. It looks like a giant golf ball, and it's quite wonderful to see when you're driving downtown at night. We had dinner up there about a year ago with some friends of ours, David and Kathy, we mentioned earlier on. That's the Reunion Tower. Past this hill. This is the site more commonly seen because we're coming clockwise around the base of the city now, and this is the site more commonly seen when they sort of fly in and show you that sort of intro to Dallas and the program. We're not too far away from it, maybe a mile or so. That big pinnacle-shaped building is always frequently shown on the television program. It's got a sort of wedge cut off the side of it. Just going under a tunnel now. It's going to get in the distance. There we are. More freeway. We're actually driving along what's called the 35. It's a road which goes south-west of the city and then curves up and then goes north. And we're actually going to take the north section of it and take us back up. So we're actually done a complete clockwise circular loop around the city, and we're going to go north now and take us back up to Plano. Sort of a brownie colour building. That's it there. Good shot of it. That's called the Salmon Center. That is where the Vocal Majority rehearse every Thursday night. This is actually the World Trade Center, which is quite a famous building in Dallas. They have about 1,000 businesses based in the World Trade Center. On a road called Trinity Mills. These flashing yellow lights mean that we're passing a school, and that you have to slow down. Everybody has to slow down to 20 miles an hour until you get past it. So once we get past this zone, then we can speed up again.
Back, we've been out for the day, and we're just going to show you around the pool. But this is just opposite our apartment, and this is our pool in here. We're going to show you the fitness centre, but we'll show you the pool first.
So you're going to get in it?
It's lovely and warm.
It's lovely and warm. Oh, I'll get in that later.
Actually, I could just get in here.
This just shows you some of the other.
This is the fitness suite. Haven't used it yet, but
Going to get on it later.
should be quite good. What if I do? Haven't put on too much weight so far.
So far, does it matter that?
In our kitchen. Dinner's almost ready, and we're going to have a glass of wine.
Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock, so we've shown you a little bit about Dallas and where we are. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hope to do a few more of these as time goes on, so at least you'll see how we're progressing. It would be nice to receive letters and videos, whatever, you know. You can pick up the phone, or fax us a letter, or send us a letter, or even send us a video, God forbid. But here's to everybody at home anyway,
Yes,
and we're having a
here's to
wonderful
you.
time.
We are having a wonderful
Enjoy
time.
yourselves.
And I love to you all.
Good.